Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Cabinet meeting. I don't think we need any introductions. I think we all know each other, so we'll just get straight on with tonight's agenda. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Apologies from Councillor Carl Johnson, Councillor Joan Walker and Vicky Smith.
Thank you. No other apologies? Okay, thank you. Item 2, can I ask members to declare any interests or notify any dispensations granted? Does anyone have anything to declare? No, thank you. Moving on to item 3, the minutes of the meeting held on the 19th of May 25. Can we agree those minutes as a true record for those who were in attendance? Agreed. Thank you very much. Item 4 is the report of the young mayor, but unfortunately the young mayor isn't in attendance. She may turn up, and if she does, we'll slot her in. But for the moment, we'll assume apologies from Diamond. Thank you. We'll move on to item 5, Housing and Property Services Annual Complaints Performance and Service Improvement Report 24-25. Can I ask Councillor John Harrison to present the report?
Thank you, Mayor. It's just a long title, isn't it? The Social Housing Regulation Act 2023 empowered the Housing Ombudsman to issue a code of practice about procedures to members of the scheme, of which, as a social housing landlord, the authority is by a local member. The Act also placed a duty on the Housing Ombudsman to monitor landlord compliance. This monitoring includes a requirement for landlords to produce an annual complaints performance and service improvement report. That is to be produced alongside the Housing Ombudsman annual self-assessment against their code. The self-assessment needs to be published annually, and for this year it's to be by the 30th of September. This is Housing and Property Service second annual report, and it provides details of the number of complaints received along with their outcomes. It also shows complaints themes, service improvements that have been introduced over the last year, and service priorities for this year. Mayor, following an initial increase in the number of complaints received, this settled with the overall number for the year comparable to the previous year, 2023-24. For the period of this report, 28% of complaints were upheld, this being a slight reduction of 30% upheld from the previous year. 56% of the complaints were not upheld, which an increase of 11% from the previous year, and there was a 9% decrease in the number of complaints partially upheld, down from 25% to 16%. We have seen a significant reduction in the number of complaints for our repairs and maintenance service, but an increase in the number of complaints across our housing management service. This increase has come following the introduction of revised working practices that now include tenancy home visits being carried out and an increased presence on our estates. More importantly, within our most recent tenant satisfaction survey, our tenants report an increase in satisfaction and how we as the landlord handle their complaints, with an increasing by 9%. Service improvements that have contributed towards the improvement in tenant satisfaction and complaint handling have included the appointment of a customer relations manager to lead and manage the customer relations team and to collate and analyse customer inquiry requests and complaint reasons, and to produce reports and recommendations. Where learning from a complaint is identified, the introduction of learning outcome reports that are shared with our service areas identifying other improvements. The appointment of a property condition manager to support property services responses to condensation, mould and damp reports. A review of our tenant engagement opportunities include the introduction of an online tenant engagement hub and refresh our tenants panels. Service priorities have been identified for the next year that the teams will be supporting to work through and introduce change with regular reporting to residents, officers and elected members. As the governing body member responsible for housing and property services complaints, I'm requesting you that you agree the contents of this second annual housing property service complaint and service improvement 24-25. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Harrison. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Yes, Councillor Green.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm happy to support this report. We're never to be afraid of complaints, no matter if it's just one complaint, but use them, as Councillor Harrison has said, to improve our performance, to identify concerns and to see any trends that we're seeing. It's good to be open and transparent about this and very proactive if we receive complaints and act upon them and use that learning. And just to say, I do sit on the landlords panel, and it's very evident how it's worked over this last year. Really, really good tenants on there who are giving us loads of ideas, loads of lived experience feedback, and that's continued to go forward throughout the year. And I'm sure, together with all the other reforms that have been carried out within housing management, will lead to a much better service. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Green. Any other questions or comments? No, I could just say thank you to everyone for the work that's gone into pulling the report together, and I think it's good to see that transparency. We also note the progress, and it is a process of continuous improvement, and we'll look forward to continuing that progress in the year ahead. Is everyone happy to agree the recommendations on page 22 of that report? Agreed, thank you. If we could move on to item 6 on the agenda, 2024-25 Performance and Financial Management Report to the 31st of March 25. And can I ask Councillor Anthony McMullen to introduce, please?
Thank you, Mayor. I am pleased to introduce the final Performance and Financial Management Report for 24-25. The report highlights the delivery of the Our North Tyneside Plan from 2021 to 2025's priorities during the 2024-25 year, in particular the delivery of the Affordable Homes Programme and Carbon Net Zero. The new council plan will build upon these successes whilst recognising that there will be new challenges, changes and opportunities. Overall, the authority's performance is strong. However, as previously discussed at Cabinet, the authority, like many others across the country, continues to experience significant challenges in some areas of delivery due to increased demand and complexity, which have impacted on the overall financial position for this year. Those pressures are being addressed through the 13 medium-term financial plan work streams, and improvements will continue to be seen in adult services to reduce the reliance on short-term residential care and promote residents' independence to remain at their homes with support. The number of children in our care has increased marginally in March by 6 children. However, market forces in external residential care and complexity of needs is continuing to drive financial pressure. The authority's safety valve management plan is forecast to reach a positive in-year balance by the end of 2027-28 in relation to the high needs education. Despite high demand for assessment, the rate of growth for new EHCPs has decreased and is significantly better than the regional and national comparators. The number of pupils who use home-to-school transport service has stabilised, and the medium-term financial plan work stream is starting to reduce the budget pressures associated with the increased inflationary costs and high number of pupils with complex needs who need support with transport. And there are further details on performance contained within Annex 1 to this report. Now, as we focus on the financial element of the report, this report shows how we performed against budget and forms an important supplement to our statement of accounts. The figures in this report are provisional until the audit of the accounts is completed. The 2024-25 financial year was challenging in many ways, and there continues to be a significant amount of pressures in 2024-25 and into the medium term. The authority continues to see some pressure across adult social care and children's social care, like I've just mentioned. Taking the general fund revenue position first, as shown in tables 1 and 2 of this report, there's been an improvement of £3.5 million since the last Cabinet report, resulting in an overall deficit of £4.16 million. As previously communicated, any overspend will be funded through the use of reserves. The report sets out in table 2 the proposed use of reserves, and this proposes the release of £1.37 million from the earmark reserves to support the position, whilst the remaining balance of £2.79 million is to be taken from the strategic reserve. And after all these transfers, the general fund will be in balance for the 2024-25. Cabinet will remember that the authority's budget and medium-term financial plan sets out how we will replenish the strategic reserve over the next 4 years. So the level of the usage of 2024-25 is considered appropriate. Cabinet and management actions, together with one-off transactions in the later part of the year, meant the lower usage of the strategic reserve than was previously projected in January. In terms of schools, the year-end deficit position is £4.337 million, as our schools continue to face similar challenges to the authority, and we will continue to work with our schools to help address their deficit positions. It is good to note that there are no material issues in respect to the housing revenue account in regards to its normal activity, and the HRA position is to outturn with a minor overspend of £98,000. Moving on to the investment plan, over £124.3 million has been spent in the borough this financial year. As part of our February and March 2025 monitoring, further reprogramming of £7 million and £0.9 million of variations have been identified to the 2024-25 investment plan. Challenge sessions are underway with senior officers to further review our delivery plans, and Cabinet are asked to approve the recommendations as set out in 1.2 of the Cabinet report.
Thank you, Councillor McMullen. Do we have any questions or comments in relation to that report? No? Again, can I just say a big thank you to Councillor McMullen and to all of the officers for the work that's gone in. It has been a challenging year, and there's been an awful lot of work done to address those budgetary pressures and increased demands on services. We are still facing some pressures. I just want to assure residents we are taking the appropriate action. It continues. It is an ongoing process, including reviewing all directorate budgets at the current time. I certainly want North Tyneside Council to be a highly effective, efficient council, delivering best value for money services to meet the needs of our residents. So all that work is happening, so rest assured. So again, huge thank you. Is everyone happy to agree the recommendations on page 124 of the report? Agreed. Thank you very much. Can we move on to item 7? Pages. Development of the council plan and engagement approach. And it's my pleasure to present this report. I'm delighted to introduce this report in my new role as elected mayor to develop the new council plan, building on the successes of the previous plan. I have great ambitions for our borough, for delivering for our residents and making lasting changes that tackle inequalities and giving everyone the opportunity to live happy, healthier and fulfilled lives. This report proposes how we will develop the new council plan and carry out engagement to ensure it is shaped by the views of residents in collaboration with our partners, key businesses and the voluntary sector and community leaders. Whilst this plan is developing, I have created 5 priority areas of work which I'm hoping we can deliver and make a real positive difference to our borough. The 5 priority areas are building neighbourhoods and town centres that are clean, green and safe, places of which we can all be proud. Increasing jobs, skills and work experience opportunities. Giving our children and young people the best start in life. Delivering more affordable and social housing. And working with local people and organisations for a healthier, fairer, better quality of life for everyone. Cabinet is asked to approve the recommendations set out in section 1.2 of the Cabinet report. Thank you. Do I have any questions or comments in relation to that item? Yes, Peter, and then Dawn.
I think this sets out in detail how important it is to us as a council to engage with our residents, to take them with us in terms of our forward planning, to get their responses and to listen to all sectors of the community. Certainly got a good history of doing that, got a good history of implementing some of the suggestions that come from members of the public, from the voluntary sector and the business community. So I'm really pleased that we're carrying on with that when it comes to developing the new council.
Thank you, Councillor Early. Dawn?
Great plan. I wanted to just make the link with the extensive consultation that Age UK and Healthwatch did over the summer last year around North Tyneside becoming age friendly, and just to link into that work. And also the offer from Age UK North Tyneside to link you into older people to make sure that they engage in the process.
Thank you for that, Dawn. Appreciate that. Yes, I was at the presentation, one of the earlier presentations of your preliminary findings from that very detailed work, and it's absolutely amazing. Some of the, the work, the level, the detail that came out of that process. And I think, again, we're really keen, I'm certainly keen to work together in partnership around that. And of course, we want North Tyneside to be an age-friendly borough. And in terms of tackling those inequalities and isolation, older people are, of course, one of those key groups that experience those issues. So we'll look forward to working together. Thank you for that. Any other comments or questions? No? Is Cabinet happy to agree the recommendations on page 326 of that report? Thank you. We can move on to item 8. I can find it. North Tyneside Travel Safety Strategy. Can I ask Councillor Hannah Johnson to present the report?
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this report is to seek Cabinet's approval to carry out a process of public consultation on an updated North Tyneside travel safety strategy. The authority delivers its transport responsibilities in line with the North East Transport Strategy, which defines our vision for transport. With the North Tyneside Transport Strategy, which defines our vision for transport in the borough. This fits within the context of the wider North East Local Transport Plan, which was approved by the North East Combined Authorities Cabinet in March this year, and which aims to create a green, integrated transport network that works for all. The authority also has specific policies and strategies covering a number of transport-related areas, which align with the aims of our transport strategy. One of these is the North Tyneside Travel Safe Strategy, which was first approved in 2018. It is now an opportune time to review the strategy to ensure that it reflects the latest policy and best practice. Since the current travel safety strategy was approved, we have continued to work with partners such as the Combined Authority, Nexus, and other public transport operators to help people feel safer on public transport. We have further developed our Grow Smart work with local schools, which supports safer, active, and sustainable travel to school. This has included the delivery of school street schemes at several schools. We have delivered a range of traffic calming and local safety schemes as part of our ongoing Transport Capital programme. To give a recent example, traffic calming features that support a reduction in speed have been installed in locations such as Percy Park Road, Tynemouth, and Coach Lane, Wheatside. And finally, North Tyneside Transport Network has become safer compared with the equivalent 3-year period leading up to 2018, when the existing strategy was approved. The authority's significant and targeted investment in major schemes over recent years has been a factor in this. The updated draft strategy, attached as Appendix 1, sets out how we will, first of all, seek to reduce road casualties while improving provision for cycling, walking and wheeling. Secondly, engage with schools to promote travel safety alongside active travel and road safety education. And thirdly, work with partners to improve safety for public transport users and improve speeding compliance. It also includes a speeding prevention plan, which sets out how we work closely with partner organisations to prevent speeding on the borough's highway network. The updated travel strategy and travel safety strategy links with the objective of equally well the existing joint health and wellbeing strategy, and will support our proposed updated joint health and wellbeing strategy. It will also complement the aims of the existing North Tyneside plan, and the travel safety strategy consultation will be planned with consideration of the wider engagement process to develop the new council plan, which is outlined in a separate report to Cabinet. Furthermore, several measures in the updated travel safety assist people in choosing active travel or public transport in preference to car travel, and it makes a valuable contribution to delivering the aims of our carbon net zero action plan. Following the proposed consultation, the travel safety strategy will then be further updated if necessary and brought to a further meeting of the Cabinet for approval. I would therefore like to ask Cabinet to approve the recommendations set out in section 1.2 of the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Do we have any comments or questions? Yes.
Could I ask this one from NEU, from the union, the education union? I understand that it's a consultation that is going to be ongoing, so it's a working document. But the question was, how will schools be expected to contribute to deliver parts of the updated travel strategy and promoting cycling, walking, speed awareness? And I think in terms of resources.
Yeah, so we will be consulting with our schools throughout the period of this particular consultation. We already do, as we've said, a lot of work with schools around safety regarding travelling to school. In fact, we've just been at a school today talking about kind of issues around safety there as well. So we'll be continuing that work and making sure schools are consulted on this process too. Yeah.
Yes, Councillor Graham.
Thanks, Mayor. I'd be delighted to support this consultation, particularly as it supports our green agenda, carbon net zero. It was great to see the children at the Fish Quay on Friday with their Go Smarter high vis on, part of the school streets where kids are actively now walking to school safely into our school streets. And safe walking and cycling and wheeling is the way for us to go. We've got a lovely borough, a lovely green and blue borough, and lots of places for people to go that costs very little. And just to say that we're trying to source bicycles for those families who don't have them. So at the HWRC, we're keeping bikes back that people are donating, having them repaired, and then giving them through that way to families in schools. So it's a way to get children confident, together with the bikeability classes, and give them the confidence to get out there. And there are schools that are going on big bike rides. They were down on the Fish Quay on Friday. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. Dawn?
It's a similar comment to the one I made previously about age-friendly North Tyneside, because transport is one of the 8 key domains. So just to reflect again on the consultation and the data that we already have to link into this piece of work as well, and also to support older people to engage in the work.
Thanks for that, Dawn. Yes, that's really important. And I think just doing that work, making sure we all joined up and adding value rather than kind of repeating something that's already been done is really important. Any other comments or questions? No? Are members happy to agree the recommendations? Yes, thank you. Moving on to agenda item 9, review of Council Tax Support Scheme 2026. Can I ask Councillor McMullen to introduce the report?
Thank you, Mayor. I am pleased to present this report on the proposed consultation of the Local Council Tax Support Scheme for 2026-27. In line with the requirement of the Local Government Finance Act of 1992, any change to the Council Tax Support Scheme requires consultation to be undertaken with the public and the major precepting authorities, e.g. the police and fire authorities, prior to it being submitted to full council for its decision on whether it will be adopted as the new scheme. At this stage, it is proposed to go to consultation on a potential change to the Council Tax Support Scheme for working age claimants. This is outlined in the report, but in summary, would see a move to a Banded Council Tax Support Scheme from April 2026-27. The scheme for pensioners is a national scheme and no changes are proposed. Our residents with the lowest incomes are reliant on our council tax support scheme to help them pay their council tax, and it should be a scheme that is easy to understand for our customers as well as easy for the council to administer. Under the current scheme, the move to universal credit for many of our claimants means they often see small changes to their entitlement each month, which then triggers many changes to their council tax support during the year. Some will receive many bills during the year, and in some cases, getting a new bill every single month. This causes confusion for our customers and also makes it hard for them to budget their finances. And for the council, it is a burdensome and costly scheme to administer. A banded council tax scheme will reduce the number of changes to eligibility and therefore the number of bills issued. It will drive opportunities to improve the effectiveness of the scheme, driving efficiencies and potential savings in the longer term. A banded scheme has been implemented or is planned to be implemented by the majority of the regional neighbours and is already in place in around half of the national local authorities. Using the current caseload of working age claimants, the proposed scheme provides a scheme that will be simplified so it's easier to understand. 75% of our current claimants will have nothing to pay. At present, everyone has to pay at least something. Almost 8% of our claimants will be better off. And there will be help in place for those who are struggling to meet the increase in council tax for those who are in the 20%. Consultation on the scheme will be carried out through a number of channels to maximise its reach over a 6-week period. And following the consultation, a report will be brought back to Cabinet in September 2025. It will then consider the findings of that report and decide if a final draft will be submitted to full council on the 27th of November 2025 for its approval, and should it be approved, the new scheme will take effect from the 1st of April 2026. I therefore ask Cabinet to agree the recommendations as set out in paragraph 1.2 of this report and agree that consultation exercise be carried out.
Thank you, Councillor McMullen. Any questions or comments? No? Everyone happy to agree the recommendations as set out in the report? Great, thank you. That concludes the business for this evening. Date and time of the next meeting is Monday, the 28th of July at 6 p.m. Can I just make one announcement before everybody leaves? I'd like to say huge congratulations to Dawn McNally, who it was announced recently is to receive an OBE for services to older people in the borough. So huge congratulations, Dawn. I know it is thoroughly deserved. You do some amazing work, and certainly North Tyneside Council really appreciate everything that you do on behalf of our residents. So thank you so much. Thank you. Round of applause. Thank you, everyone.